Hey guys, let's get more news about Lakers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Lakers named free agent fit for potential D'Angelo Russell replacement. The Los Angeles Lakers took the fewest three-point shots and made the seventh fewest in the NBA per game last season. Looking to upgrade in that area and other areas in free agency, Bobby Marks of ESPN named them a fit for free agent Gary Trent Jr. Trent Jr. debuted in 2018 and has become an above-average player, averaging 13.7 points last season and 17.4 in 2022-23. According to Matt Moore of the Action Network, the Lakers were among the teams interested in Trent Jr. during the 2023-24 trade deadline. Gary Trent Jr. is the name most frequently discussed, with the Lakers and Nets among the teams with interest, Moore wrote. Bobby Marks of ESPN broke down a scenario where D'Angelo Russell opted out of his contract. If he opts into his $18.9 million player option, the Los Angeles Lakers would exceed the first apron. If he doesn't opt in, the Lakers would have more flexibility, including access to the $12.9 million mid-level exception. Trent Jr. could potentially fit into that $12.90 mid-level exception and be an ideal target due to his scoring abilities. Trent would likely only be an option if Russell left in free agency, making him a potential replacement. Maxwell Ogden of Fansided wrote that the Lakers should be evaluating Trent Jr. when a team is limited in its resources. One of the most essential aspects of a general manager's job is the ability to think outside the box, Ogden wrote on May 22. For Los Angeles Lakers front office leader Rob Pelinka, that will mean finding players who could be better in the purple and gold than they were at previous stops. One of the players who Pelinka should be evaluating in that respect is Toronto Raptors swingman and pending unrestricted free agent Gary Trent Jr. Last season was the worst since 2020-21 for Trent Jr. in terms of scoring, but that could have been for a few different reasons. The Toronto Raptors, whose he played with since being traded to the team in the 2020-21 season, finished 12th in the Eastern Conference with a 25-57 record. Trent's best season came in 2021-22 when he averaged 18.3 points and shot 38.3% from three-point range on 7.7 attempts per game. Russell was the only Lakers player who attempted more than 5.1 attempts per game last season, shooting 41.5% from three-point range. However, outside of that, no one but James shot over 40% with more than 5 attempts per game. If they were to lose Russell, they'd have to find a way to replace his three-point shooting, which Trent could do if he shoots how he has in his career. Advertising due to his three-point shooting, Eddie Bitar of Fadeaway World called Trent an excellent fit for the Lakers. Finally, Gary Trent Jr. is another excellent three-point shooter who would fit well alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis, Bitar wrote in his June 16 article exploring 5 three-point shooters the Lakers can land in the offseason. The Lakers could pursue Gary Trent Jr. in free agency, using their mid-level exception. This approach would allow the Lakers to add a quality shooter without engaging in complex trade negotiations. Trent's contract demands would need to align with the Lakers' cap space, but his addition would be a strategic move to bolster the team's shooting and defense. 2024 NBA free agency, players to sign, contract predictions. The art of negotiating a contract in free agency is not as simple as writing a blank check. A new contract for Paul George should start at his max salary of $49.3 million, but his next team, the LA Clippers or perhaps the Philadelphia 76ers, will negotiate the length and other clauses. To show the complexities of negotiating in free agency, I picked 10 free agents, starting with LeBron James, and examined what their next contract should be and picked teams that could give them that deal. We should preface this by saying there is a difference between what James should get and what contract would help the Lakers the most. He continues to play as a top 15 player and recently earned All-NBA for a 20th consecutive season. He has earned the right to dictate the length and dollars on his next contract. But what happens if the next James contract starts at $40 million, $10 million less of the maximum he can earn in the first year? Such a discount would keep the Lakers well below the second apron even if D'Angelo Russell opts into his $18.9 million contract or takes less in a new deal. The Lakers could also sign restricted free agent Max Christie and not exceed the threshold. Teams below the second apron also have more flexibility to send out contracts in a trade. James could, however, point to the fact that by declining his $51.4 million option, he would be taking less in the next contract. The first-year salary on a new contract is $49.9 million. James should seek a 2-year, $104 million contract that includes a player option and no trade clause. Because James has played in the NBA for at least 8 seasons and 4 with the Lakers, he is eligible to include the rare no-trade clause if he signs an entirely new contract. A short-term contract would also give James the option to become a free agent next offseason. He is also eligible to sign the largest contract in his career at 3 years and $162 million. Lakers' reunion with former big man just got more likely. The Los Angeles Lakers are still in pursuit of their next head coach after UConn's Dan Hurley decided to stay in the college ranks instead of making the jump to the pros. However, the Lakers also need to do some homework on the 2024 draft class and free agents. Up to this point, we haven't heard much about the Lakers' free agent targets, despite the team needing to retool after a disappointing performance in the first round of the NBA playoffs. One position that Los Angeles needs to address is center. The Lakers could use a quality backup center that could play sometimes in the front court with all-star big man Anthony Davis. This season, Los Angeles received little to no production from Christian Wood, 6.9 ppg and 5.1 rpg, and Jackson Hayes, 4.3 ppg and 3.0 rpg. Luckily for Los Angeles, there's a former Lakers center that could be the perfect solution to the team's issues in the frontcourt. Joe Cowley of the Chicago Sun-Times wrote about how the Chicago Bulls need to hit big in the NBA draft, but there's not a clear direction for the team. Cowley discusses the frontcourt and reveals there's an expected vacancy of Andre Drummond. What remains to be seen, however, is what direction do the Bulls go? Do they prepare for DeMar DeRozan possibly leaving in free agency, or if he does return, the more likely scenario, draft his heir apparent at the small forward position? Do they grab a big to replace the expected vacancy with Andre Drummond looking for a new team, as well as some youth to push starter Nikola Vucevic? Drummond received a lot of attention leading up to the NBA trade deadline this season, but the Bulls decided to keep the big man. The 30-year-old center posted 8.4 points and 9.0 rebounds in 17.1 minutes per game. When Drummond played for the Lakers in the latter part of the 2020-21 season, the veteran big man produced 11.9 points and 10.2 rebounds in 21 games, all starts. If the Lakers were to get back Drummond, he wouldn't start. But he would provide relief to a Los Angeles' frontcourt that is leaning heavily on Davis and LeBron James. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Andre Drummond? Leave your opinion in the comments.